How certain are you that the screen you're staring at, or the floor beneath your feet, continues to exist when you turn your back? To the common mind, the world is a solid, objective machine made of stuff. But in the 18th century, a visionary philosopher named George Berkeley arrived with a claim so radical it borders on madness. Matter does not exist. Berkeley argued that the universe is not a collection of objects, but a symphony of perceptions. He whispered a principle that still haunts the halls of metaphysics. Esse est percipi. To be is to be perceived. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear, see, or touch it, for Berkeley, it doesn't just fall in silence, it fails to exist entirely. This isn't just a linguistic trick, it's a sledgehammer to the very foundation of reality. As the psychologist Carl Jung once noted, the world exists only insofar as we are able to produce an image of it. Today, we dismantle the material world. We will explore why reality is merely a projection flickering in the theater of your mind, and how modern quantum mechanics is, centuries later, starting to side with this mad bishop. Brace yourself, because by the end of this video, the outside world might just disappear. Think of an apple. You see its vibrant red skin, you feel its cool, smooth surface, and you taste its sweet crunch. You assume these qualities belong to the apple itself. But Berkeley asks, where does the red actually live? The redness is not in the fruit, it is a sensation in your mind. The sweetness is not in the flesh, it is a signal in your brain. If you take away the color, the smell, the taste, and the touch, what is left? You might say the matter is left, but Berkeley's genius, or his trap, is realizing that matter is just an abstract word we invented to describe a bundle of sensations. I do not argue against the existence of any one thing that we can apprehend, either by sense or reflection. The only thing whose existence we deny is that which philosophers call matter. George Berkeley. In other words, you have never touched the world. You have only touched your own perception of it. As the philosopher Immanuel Kant would later argue, we can never know the thing in itself. We are trapped in a biological cockpit, staring at a screen of our own making. This leads us to a terrifying realization. If the world is made of perceptions, and perceptions require a mind to perceive them, then the universe is not a place. The universe is a thought. But this raises a haunting question. If you close your eyes, and I close mine, and no one is left in the room, does the room vanish into a void? If reality is a dream, who is the dreamer? If reality is only real when it is being watched, then the world should flicker out of existence every time we blink. When you leave your house, the streets should dissolve into a chaotic fog. But they don't. The mountains stay where they are. The stars remain in their orbits. Why? Berkeley's answer was both theological and terrifyingly beautiful. He argued that there is an infinite observer, a great mind that never blinks, never sleeps, and never turns away. We call it God. Others call it the universal consciousness. The world exists because it is eternally perceived by a mind that encompasses everything. This brings us back to the heart of open individualism. If, as we discussed before, there is only one I experiencing every life, then Berkeley's philosophy is the missing piece of the puzzle. The universe isn't a cold, dead machine. It is a shared dream. A singular consciousness, the same one looking through your eyes right now, is the very fabric that holds the stars in place. I regard consciousness as fundamental. I regard matter as derivative from consciousness. Max Planck. Even the giants of science began to stumble upon Berkeley's truth. If Max Planck was right, then matter isn't the floor of reality. Consciousness is. We are not small, fragile beings living in a world of matter. We are the very mind in which the world is happening. If everything we see is just a mental representation, then what exactly is out there? Berkeley didn't say there is nothing outside of us. He said there is no matter outside of us. Think of it like a global divine broadcast. We are all receivers, tuned into the same frequency, perceiving the same divine ideas at the same time. Modern cognitive scientist Donald Hoffman echoes this 18th century wisdom with his interface theory of perception. He argues that our senses are like a computer desktop. When you see a blue icon on your screen, is the file actually blue and square? No. Those are just symbols designed to hide the complex reality of circuits and software. The world we perceive is a user interface, constructed by our minds to help us survive, not to show us the truth. Berkeley was perhaps the first simulation theorist, but without the computers. To him, the hardware of the universe wasn't silicon, it was spirit. This leads us to a disturbing psychological realization. What we call sanity is simply a state where we all agree on the same hallucination. As the psychoanalyst R.D. Laing once suggested, the condition of alienation, of being asleep, of being out of one's mind, is the condition of the normal man. If Berkeley is right, your body is not a vessel that contains your mind. Your body is a perception within your mind. You aren't a ghost in a machine. You are the dream and the dreamer and the act of dreaming, all at once. Of course, many have tried to debunk this. The famous writer Samuel Johnson once thought he could settle the matter by kicking a large stone with all his might and declaring, "I refute it thus." He felt the pain, he saw the stone, and he believed he had proven that matter is real. But Berkeley would have only smiled. He never denied that the stone feels hard or that the kick causes pain. He simply asked, where does that hardness and pain exist? It exists in your mind. Samuel Johnson didn't refute Berkeley. He only proved that the divine simulation is incredibly consistent and painful when you challenge it. For nearly 3 centuries, Berkeley's idealism was treated as a beautiful but impossible poetic fantasy. Science was built on the objective reality of matter. But then the 20th century arrived, and with it came quantum mechanics, the moment the universe stopped behaving like a machine and started behaving like a mind. In the quantum world, particles exist in a state of superposition. They are everywhere and nowhere at once, until they are measured. In other words, until they are observed. This is the observer effect. The founding father of quantum mechanics, Werner Heisenberg, famously said, "The atoms or elementary particles themselves are not real. They form a world of potentialities or possibilities rather than one of things or facts." Does this sound familiar? It is Berkeley's Esse est percipi, rewritten in the language of mathematics. Modern physics suggests that at the most fundamental level, there is no stuff. There is only information, and that information requires an observer to become real. As the physicist Sir James Jeans once remarked, the universe begins to look more like a great thought than like a great machine. If the subatomic world refuses to be material without an observer, then Berkeley wasn't a madman, he was a prophet. He understood that the observer and the observed are not two different things. They are two ends of the same conscious string. If we accept Berkeley's world, our perspective on life shifts. If matter is an illusion, then the walls that limit us are also mental constructs. This brings us to a crossroad of psychology and spirituality. The psychologist Abraham Maslow spoke of peak experiences, moments where the boundaries between the self and the world dissolve. If you are the mind that perceives the world, then you are not in the world. The world is in you. You are the architect of your own subjective reality. But this power comes with a heavy price. If reality is a dream we are all having together, then we are collectively responsible for the nightmares we create. We spend our lives chasing things. We chase wealth, we build walls of brick and mortar, we cling to the solid ground. But if George Berkeley is right, we have been chasing shadows in a cavern of our own making. The ground is not solid, it is a thought. The walls are not barriers, they are perceptions. This is the ultimate liberation. If the universe is a great thought in the mind of a single observer, then your consciousness is not a byproduct of matter. It is the very fire that keeps the stars burning. You are not a guest in this universe, you are the host. The soul is not in the body is in the soul. Plotinus. As you close this video and look around your room, try to see it for what it truly is. Don't just look at the chair or the window. Feel the act of perceiving them. Realize that they exist because you are here to witness them. In the grand tapestry of existence, you are the thread, the weaver, and the finished work all at once. The outside world might be a ghost, but your experience of it is the only truth there is. Perhaps it's time we stop trying to master the world of matter and start understanding the world of mind. After all, if life is a dream, wouldn't you want to be the one who finally wakes up? If this journey into the mind of Berkeley changed the way you see the world, consider joining our exploration of the unknown. Subscribe, and let's keep questioning the fabric of reality together. Until next time, keep observing.